Okay, well, it took a little bit of time to actually go live. I guess my internet is a little slow today, but hello and welcome to Nesting Friday Live. This is Beverly Fowles Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness, and I am so glad that you have joined me today. Um, Sometimes I know with live um, presentations, you got to wait a little bit for some people to show up and be here. But yeah, and today I just put out the information a little later for the link. But I planned an enjoyable day to be with whomever you shared it with. Some of you shared it on Zoom. You were just like, okay, and Zoom did something really cool because if you have the free version of Zoom, you can only be online for 40 minutes if you've got more than two people. So when the third person comes on, you only have 40 minutes. And they suspended that for yesterday because so many families I talked to um, they were cooking their own, and then they had set a specific time, and then they were going to join each other by Zoom. And I think that we have just kind of adapted to the changes. It's very difficult for me right now, thinking about those changes and you know being careful about who you're with and who you're spending time with. It can be very difficult. Hello, strange fruit. It's great to see you. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone who is joining me today. Um, I don't know if this is going to be 30 minutes or less. I really just make notes about what I want to talk about. And I allow spirit to lead me forward on what I need to talk about. And so yes, this is about being grateful. I mean, I'm truly am grateful for being what I want to say, healthy, being able to share on a platform like YouTube. I am grateful for me who wrote things down and wrote books and papers and did lectures so that we could learn from them. We can learn, and I'm not just talking about, spiritual things. I'm talking about, you know, uh, how to repair a car, how to refinish a piece of furniture, how to tile a wall, which is one of the things I'm working on now. I'm working on my bathroom and retiling the wall myself. I'm going to take my good old time, but I'm grateful for those kinds of things. And so one of the things I did, I looked up definitions. And let me tell you, it really frustrates me when I look up a definition and the word that I'm looking the definition up for is in the definition, right? Right? Gratitude, the quality or feeling of being grateful or thankful. Then you look up the word grateful, and it says warmly or deeply appreciative of kindness or benefits received, thankful. No, I didn't go down the rabbit hole and look up thankful and keep going. But the idea is that we have this feeling inside. We and a lot of times it's very difficult to explain what those feelings are and how you feel grateful. We don't want somebody to think that, we're groveling or it's just that I really like what you did for me. I really made me feel good inside. A lot of times we're told to, list out what we're grateful for each day. And I listen to some people and it's like, I'm grateful for the sunlight. I'm grateful for the rain. I'm grateful for, and it's like, are we saying these things of gratitude just because we were told that we needed to be grateful? And inside of me, it's like, no, to me, that's false. Now, for you, it may be something else, but for me, expressing gratitude for something that you really, truly appreciate. Yeah, the sunlight, I expect to see it every day. If there was no sunlight or there was no sun and we were in a different universe, I wouldn't know the difference. For the rain, it's my understanding in some of the teachings that I was told that there was a time when there was no rain. So when in the Old Testament, when Noah was talking about it was going to rain and he was building the ark and everybody was laughing at him, was because we were in a kind of a hothouse. The whole world was a hothouse. And so if you've ever been in a hothouse or in a greenhouse of some side, it's humid. And there's, and you have the light and all that. But according to what I was taught, it had never rained. People didn't know what rain was. They laughed at when he said this stuff, the water was going to come from the sky. You see, when it's a hothouse and it's misting, water condensates on surfaces and then it drains into the stream and people would be able to get their water and stuff. But people didn't have an appreciation. Probably Noah didn't have an appreciation either. But when he said it was going to rain and it was going to rain a long time, well, they didn't believe him. It's like, who are you? Water coming from the sky? That's crazy. But when the water started coming from the sky and the people were going and banging on Noah's door, like, you told the truth. What is this? What is this? Well, Noah and his family were grateful, for the knowledge and that they built this ark. Now, they've been trying to find the ark for hundreds of years. It hasn't been found yet. And if it was made from wood, it's just gone, right? So, gratitude, being grateful. And so, what are you grateful for today? I mean, really, honestly, is there something in your life that has happened for you that you feel thankful for? And a lot of us who are healthy and we're grateful for that. We're grateful for, the people who are working to try to keep us healthy and keep people alive. We are grateful for those kinds of things. I'm grateful for my family and my friends because I'm able to talk to them. I'm able to share with them. I'm able to have a conversation with them. So, whatever you're grateful for today, think of it as something that you may not have had before, or you would truly miss it if it wasn't there. Appreciation to me is the idea of, yeah, we are grateful and we're thankful, but we show it. We show that recognition. I show my appreciation for, having my daughter around to have a conversation with. I show my appreciation when I was, in corporate America and I received an award, or the boss said to me, thank you for doing so and so. And the first time I had somebody thank me for doing a specific thing at work, I kind of looked at them strangely. And that was because it was like, what, I was doing my job. But later, when I thought about it, it's like so many times people do things and nobody recognizes them for it. So if you have someone or you know someone that you appreciate something they do as a matter of their job, then tell them. When I was younger and the postman would come to the door and deliver the mail, my mother would always leave something at Christmas time for them. Or, yeah, when I was younger, there was the milkman that delivered milk for us. And so there were different times when you showed appreciation by giving them a tip. But even saying thank you for your service, thank you for being here, thank you is wonderful. But what has that got to do with manifestation and manifesting? Well, I go back to the idea that if you're a parent and you give your children some gifts and they just go off and say, "Oh, this is great," and they take off and they never say thank you, they never say thank you for anything that you do for them, then you eventually will go, yes, you're doing some things for them because you're their parent, right? Food, water, shelter, clothes, whatever. But if you do something extra, if you give them something that they said they wanted or they've been looking at, or you take them somewhere that they've really wanted to be, but they never say thank you, how do you feel? It's like, are they taking it? They just take me for granted. They, they don't appreciate this or whatever. So when you are asking for something that come into your life and it shows up in whatever manner it shows up, all you have to do is say thank you. And I'm going, yeah. So when I realized that I had manifested the truck that I wanted, I just looked up and said thank you. I went within and said thank you. And yeah, you may say, really? And it's, yeah, because you're recognizing, admitting, showing that you recognize where this came from. You're recognizing that you were gifted with something that you asked for. I mean, when it was as simple as I got a free oil change, I said, thank you. When someone out of the blue took me to lunch, thank you. I thanked them, but I thanked my benefactor because I know that many things come into our lives in ways that we have no idea, but we should say thank you. And thank you very much. So, gratitude for the things that you have and the things that you would miss if you didn't have them. Gratitude for the people in your life that makes your life better. Gratitude for a job or an income that's coming in to help you live. Gratitude for great health. You also express gratitude for the things that you want to come into your life. Remember, when we're looking to manifest, we are visualizing it in our life already. Believe you have received and it will be yours. We visualize by closing our eyes and going into a meditative state and being that person or having that thing or being in the situation that we are asking to come into our lives. When we've gotten to the point where we can close our eyes, visualize that, and open our eyes like, that was really good. I felt that I was there. I thought it was already done. Gratitude and say thank you. Because when you're going through this process of manifestation and you're asking for what you want and you visualize it and you feel as though it's already yours, It is yours. It is created in the invisible. It just needs to come into the physical life for you. I went to an event and a gentleman, and it was called remote viewing. It's a whole nother world. And he said he was visualizing, his eyes were closed, this area in Grapevine. And he saw a building there, and it was, I don't remember how many stories he said it was. And it was sitting there, and he could describe it to a T. So he went to that spot in Grapevine, and that building wasn't there. He said he was disappointed. He said, however, several years later, he went to that spot, and that building was there, just as he had seen it. And so I'm going, oh, I needed to go to that meeting to hear that, because that verified what I say, that it's created in the invisible. It just needs to be physical. That building was already created in the minds of the architects. It may have been in a blueprint. People were seeing it. There might have been a model made of it, whatever. But that building was in that space. Now, what would have happened if they changed their mind and scuttled that idea of that building? That building would have disappeared in the invisible. It's just like if you're creating and asking for something and then you go, no, that's not what I want. Cancel that. I don't want that. It disappears. It collapses in the invisible. So when you've visualized it, you want to say thank you for it, and you're grateful for it, and you just wait for it to show up, or wait for the things that you are told in order to say, okay, um, this is what I need to do. This is what I need in order to um, make this thing happen or come into my life. And if you want to share of anything that you are grateful for in the comments, I would love for you to do that. So today's reading is from Neville Goddard, and he wrote a thing called Seed Time and Harvest. And this is different from this conversation about gratitude and appreciation. However, it's still about your consciousness and who you are and what you desire in your life in manifesting. And he says, a man's state of consciousness is his demand on the infinite storehouse of God. And like the law of commerce, a demand creates supply. To change the supply, you change the demand. You change your state of consciousness. So let me stop on that point. And it does go back to the idea of you thinking about it, you visualizing it, you're asking for it. So it's on your consciousness and impressing it on your subconscious. What is it that you want? So to change the supply, you change the demand, you change your consciousness, you change the way you think. So he goes on to say, what you desire to be, that you must feel you already are. Scripture says, believe you have received and it will be yours. Believe that it's already yours, right? And he's just restating that. What you desire to be, that you must feel you already are. Your state of consciousness creates the conditions of your life rather than the conditions create your state of consciousness. All right. So many of us say, well, this is the way I was raised. This is where I was. This is the kind of life that was presented to me. This is my neighborhood. And he's saying, even though you're in the midst of turmoil, it can be a sea of calmness. Your state of consciousness creates the conditions of your life rather than the conditions create your state of consciousness. To know this truth is to have the water of life. But your Savior, the solution of your problem, cannot be manifested by such knowledge only. It can be realized only as such knowledge is applied. So apply it to your life, that which you desire. Do not be afraid to reach for your greatest desire. It may frighten you. You may say, do I have the right to do that? Can I ask for that? There's nothing stopping you other than yourself and the way you think. Thank you, Change Fruit. I appreciate that. I'm grateful for you for being here and taking the time to be with me. It encourages me to continue. As I've said before, whether it's one person, 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people, I don't know. I don't know who I'm going to touch. And I'm so grateful that you are here. So remember, you have to apply the knowledge that you've learned in order to bring things into your life, and you must be grateful and show appreciation. All right. This is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness. If you like this video, please hit a thumbs up, make comments, share this with someone that you know could possibly use this. All right. I will see you next Friday, approximately 10 a.m. And as you have believed, let it be done to you. And it is so.